What a great opportunity we have today to meet Josh Stanbro, who is the Chief Resiliency Officer with the City and County of Honolulu. Glad you're with us. And I am so happy to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Lila.
Your career titles keep changing, but you're still doing the same thing.
It's essentially been a career of community work and sustainability work, but in different titles and at different places. I was at the Trust for Public Land doing land conservation. I was at the Hawaii Community Foundation doing philanthropy around sustainability, and now I'm in government in the mayor's office in City and County of Honolulu.
You just have to test it all, right?
Well, you need variety in life. Variety is the spice of life, and public service is, you can do it in many different ways, whether it's in the nonprofit sector, even businesses now are a lot of B Corps and folks that are oriented around social good in the business sector, and of course, government.
The triple bottom line is what I learned from you folks when I was in the lab.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago when we talked about those original principles, and really we've seen society sort of start to embrace those over time as they see the benefit of really thinking on multiple different layers, not just around profit necessarily, but around how do you keep societies whole and healthy and our environment whole and healthy, because really everything depends on that fundamental, the INA, the health of the INA.
Which is pretty much what you're doing now as a resiliency officer.
Well, there's a lot
leading that discussion.
Yeah, there's a lot that a chief resilience officer does, and it's this new title that's really come about. Really, we have challenges in the 21st century that we haven't faced before. Climate change is the big one, but even when you think about sort of the globalization of the economy, you think about technology advances. There's a lot of things that are happening in this century coming up that you need to be flexible and have grit, be able to adapt quickly on the fly. And that's what resiliency is really about, is sort of absorbing shocks and stresses and coming out stronger on the other end.
So you mentioned climate change, because that's not only in the news, it's a reality for us here. How does your office address this?
The office that I run is actually called the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. And don't blame us for that long name. The voters actually voted this office into existence in 2016 as part of the city charter, which is the constitution of our island for Oahu. And so our mission really is to try to protect the population and protect our assets in the face of climate change. And as island people, we're sort of on the front lines of climate change, and people recognize that. That's why they established this office. Our office is the only municipal office at a local level, city or county office in the nation that has the word climate change in it. And I think that's testimony to how the citizens of Oahu, who tend to stay rooted, they don't move around a lot. They've seen the progress of time. They've seen the temperature of the water change in the ocean. They've seen the dryness in the mountains. And they know that something is different and afoot, and they want local government to do something about it.
And I think that that's where the challenge comes in. That what do we do?
Yeah.
And how do our policies not only reflect climate change concerns, but also the inertia that we feel here, the unwillingness to change. And some of it's because of fear, and I know you address that all the time.
Yeah, well, change is hard. I mean, think about it in our own lives. You want to do better. We're coming up on the New Year's, right? And there's New Year's resolutions. You want to get healthier. You want to, do lots of things, and you tend to fall back into old habits. The problem is that our old habits just aren't going to hold in a new world. The world is changing around us, and we need to redesign our systems to make sure that we can continue to inhabit this place that we love and this paradise that we live in. Climate has to do with everybody, whether you're a farmer, whether you're working banking, the risk profiles have changed with hurricanes and risk management. So really climate touches everybody, and everybody's going to have to touch climate in the way that we change transportation and electrifying our transportation grid, using biofuels. The good news is when we do that, we're going to make our planet safer and our islands safer for the long run, but we're also going to put money back in our pocket.
And maybe even think about where we park our car when it's raining.
Yeah. Well, we're getting bigger rains.
Right,
so.
Exactly. Thanks for your time. I appreciate this. And we look forward to hearing more from your office.
Thanks, Lila. It's great to be here.
Thank you. And thank you, too. We've been chatting with Josh Stanbro, who is the Chief Resiliency Officer with the City and County of Honolulu. Thanks.